Welcome back to another episode of Cats Out the Bag. I said that like so seductively. Um, so today I have the lovely Brii Free.
Hey.
For the people that don't know you, tell them a little bit about yourself and who you are and what you do.
So my name's Brii, aka Brii Free, aka Brii Anna. Um, I am a model, a tattoo model. I'm an influencer. I'm a songwriter, a singer, and I'm also a bridal day of coordinator / your best friend on your wedding day. So I wear many hats, and it's kind of tough to juggle, but it's been fun.
So you basically work 7 days a week.
Yeah, when I'm not working, I'm working. Like, I'm working on what I would call, I guess, myself and my brand outside of my work where I actually make money and, like, keep a roof over my head.
Mm-hmm.
I call it, like, working on my future.
Right. Because Brii Free is the brand.
Yeah. And then Simply Bridal is my wedding brand. So Simply and then BRIIDAL. Like, so.
Yeah.
Bridal.
Right.
But, like, it's bridal. Like, but,
right.
like.
So what do you do in that job?
I basically am there from start to finish. I make sure the wedding goes smoothly. I work with the photographers. I basically steam the dress if it's needed. I do the bustle. I do everything. I just make sure everything goes smooth and accordingly because I treat every wedding as if it were my own wedding day and like what I want to be treated like on my wedding day. So with that being said, if you need help with your wedding, hit me up.
Hit her up. So to fall right into it, you were in Inked Mag.
Yes, I was in an Inked magazine. I placed 6th out of 110,000 girls, and it was a rough competition.
Yeah, so what are like the steps you need to do to get in the magazine and to even place?
So I submitted photography and a bunch of things into the magazine months prior to the actual competition starting, and they accept a lot of girls. That's the truth to it. And it's a big process because it's by group. Since it's 110,000 girls, they group it down to like, I think my first group was like 50 or 60 girls, but there's like 200 groups of 50 or 60 girls. You know what I mean? Like whatever equals out to 110,000 girls, that's where it starts. And then it goes to top 25 in that group, then top 15, top 10, top 5.
Out of 200 groups.
Yeah. And then it all melds together with the top girls from each of those groups. And it's between voting and like getting yourself out there and like getting like general votes, and then there's sponsorship votes like for music hairs. So that's what ended up happening. I thankfully had, you know, the right amount of followers and the right amount of time and sponsors, people who believed in me, and thank you for that, for those people who did believe in me in those moments. It was definitely a rough year to get through.
Did you have a big social following before that?
I'd say a medium one because I always made like TikTok videos, and I guess like during COVID, TikTok was still like, you know, if I would have started TikTok like during COVID when I was in like a crappy relationship with someone who didn't even love themselves, I probably would have been more poppin' by now. But, you know, when you put a video of yourself in a bikini getting out of scrubs, you know, like it's the thirst level of the sexualizing me.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like funny because it's like all these guys think it's like a provocative thing. It's like, no, we just know what gets your attention.
Right.
We know what gets the views.
It's so easily bought.
It's like you think it's for you, like you could think it's for whatever for yourself, but you know, like I just know the outcome.
Right. Is there a heavy stereotype with like girls that have tattoos, and like a lot of people like stereotyping you guys in general of who you are and like the type of person you are?
So a good example is I was at Jones Beach, or Robert Moses Field 5. You know, I like to go there, and it's like I'll just be walking around and I'm heavily covered. So like some lady just looks at me and like the audacity to say out loud, "What a sin. Like, what a shame. That's embarrassing." Like, what are you, mad, Karen?
Right.
Like, you know, these people look at you up and down, and then they automatically assume, like, I'm in the nightlife. Like, or that I'm like, you know, like I have an OnlyFans, and then like I don't have an OnlyFans. If there was an OnlyFans, the link would be heavily promoted, obviously,
Right.
just like everybody else. But you know, like when you talk about the stereotypes of having tattoos and people looking at me because I want to show my skin, I just want to show my skin because like I sat there for the pain of this.
Mm-hmm.
I have a confidence level that I grew from nothing, and you know, showing off my tattoos is like my favorite thing in the world.
Right.
So
And first of all, those people that watch and stare at people and judge people, I feel like they either want to fuck you, they want to be you, or they hate themselves so much that
it's
they
like
they don't know what else to do.
if you don't have something you want to say, like just stop staring at me longer than 5 seconds. Like, you know, like I don't really care. I've gotten used to it to the point where like I just know not to even look at people or like look their way. But it's to the point where it's also like, do people have common sense? Like, if anything, I stare at people's tattoos before I look at them in the face and then look at their tattoos.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then they know like I'm looking at your tats and like
Mhm.
either admiring your work or like you're thinking something in your head.
Right.
Like, but I've had people at the gym, like older ladies, like stare at me, and then I appreciate when they stop for a second and I realize they're staring at me and they're like, I just want to say I really love like your tattoos. Like they're beautiful. Thank you.
Thank
you know,
you.
like tell me if you like hate the way I walk around. Like just say it to my face. Don't look at me nasty. Like don't
Right.
look at me dirty. I'm not a bad person. I'm not like I feel like every parent's nightmare when I walk around, but I'm like the happiest girl I think I've ever met with like such a positive message
Right.
and such a big growth in myself that it's
Mhm.
almost a shame that people really do judge a book by its cover.
Mm-hmm.
And I seem to get that a lot. I
Yeah.
really do.
What are some of like the biggest obstacles you had to face, like dealing with insecurity? Because were you always this confident or no?
Definitely not. I definitely had to get like a lot of myself together, being start with the sobriety. So I was not sober. I decided to get sober in 2021 or 2020 when 2020 when I put myself in rehab when the ship was stuck in China with COVID. Like I was watching on the news as that happened. I was in a 30-day program. I was in Seafield in the Hamptons. And, you know, at that point, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do when I get out of here? And like everybody's even saying, like, everybody's going to relapse because they're all going to be stuck home and all this
Right.
shit. And, you know, like, it really was a tough time for like people who had drinking problems and drug
Mhm.
problems, I'm sure. But getting sober and finding myself and learning to love who I am and not abuse myself and my body, like my health, just everything, that definitely helped start a confidence level and like get rid of the insecurities because I think the drugs and the alcohol clouded my vision
Mm-hmm.
and my emotions. You don't feel things when you're on drugs and alcohol.
Right. Did you start modeling when you became sober, or you were always modeling?
I tried to dabble in it when I wasn't sober, but then I always say that if I would have gone and took a shoot with the person that I do my photography with now, I wouldn't have looked at it the same because I didn't love myself like I love myself now. And it wasn't like I wasn't beautiful, but like I didn't think I was up to par with what I could be. And you know, so I finally pushed myself to do a photo shoot. And at first I was like, no lingerie, no this, no that. Like first I did an actual gym photo shoot. Like that's what I was like, that's how much I cared what people think. And then I decided, you know what? Let's go do a beach photo shoot. It's a fucking bikini. What can my mom say? Like, what
Right.
is my mom gonna say? Like, that's what so, like, this is the mentality of it and, like, how much I think and care what, like, my family and what friends think. But, like, you know, it's such a different world now. So then I did the shoot and I saw the pictures and immediately I became my own background. And that was, like, the start. And there was no looking back. So then I gained the confidence to put on some lingerie, which is basically the same thing as bikinis now
Yep.
because every bikini goes up my butt crack and I can't help it. It's just, I can't help it. I was born like this. And just because I feel like another thing with stereotypes too, it's hard to be on TikTok as myself or on like any platform because I don't know if it's jealous people or if it's just like the way the world works, but because I have tattoos, tits, and ass, it's like I immediately get shadow banned or like any. But like if you're 15 and you're in a bathing suit, you could be on these platforms. Don't you think that's kind of like pervy?
Definitely.
So like, but like as an adult, like it's apparently sexual to be in a bathing suit, but because I'm covered in tattoos, I'm a sin and like all that. You know what I mean? It's just so that's what I'm trying to prove in some sense, and also trying to show people is that like showing your confidence and showing your self-love does not make you a sexual person because you
Right.
show your skin and because you feel sexy in a pair of underwear or bikini. It's like I always wanted to be a model. I always looked at Playboy books and stuff. It's not like I'm selling myself. I like I said, I don't have an OnlyFans,
Right.
you know.
So, do you get a lot of people in your DMs trying to sexualize you for
Oh,
the way
yeah.
you look?
Oh yeah. I used to have in my actual bio, no, I do not have an OnlyFans. Because every time I would open my DMs, there was just like a new.
Send me the link.
It's like if the fucking link existed, it would be there.
Mm-hmm.
You think I'm trying not to make money?
Right.
Like, but, you know, if we really want to track back to that, like when I was an addict and an alcoholic, will always be an addict and alcoholic. When I word it that way, I mean, I'm a recovered addict and alcoholic. That's what I consider myself. Back then, that girl didn't love herself and she went through a lot and she was pressured into thinking that the only thing she had was to make an OnlyFans and to get on live cam and to be to the point where like, I know everybody knows No Jumper. Everybody knows who Leonard the Plug is and Adam 22.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I was on the same platform as his girl. Like I was there, but I killed that girl that I was. I don't want to be that person. And you know, when I got sober, I realized that like I'm not making profit and I'm also not making a life for myself. I'm not making a good rep. Like I want to be respected and I want to be like looked at by even children and like wow, that's like an awesome person. Like,
Right.
you know, like she lives a lifestyle that like I aspire to live because she tried to do this and then accomplished it.
Right.
You know, and I didn't have that motivation when I did drugs and alcohol and when I had an OnlyFans before OnlyFans was normalized because now it is the most normalized platform to be on. And I feel like it's just so normal to see in people's bios, but like it was a sin to have it back then.
Right.
Like it was almost like I had to hide my life back then.
Mm-hmm.
But now everything's acceptable. You know, like everything is so different now. And it's only been like, what, 5 years, 6 years?
Yep.
And it's just changed rapidly.
You turn 18 and they're like, oop, I'm making an OnlyFans.
You know, and like when you're younger, like back in our age, like you only think about like what would it be like to be a porn star?
Right.
And then they made that platform and they made it so easy for you to make money and be like it's I don't not respect any of that. I respect all of it. I don't respect when people feel obligated
Right.
to be in that industry. And, you know, I had a moment like that when I was going through the Ink magazine thing because the woman who won the cover has a profession in that industry. And I felt like I was at a disadvantage because her viewers and her sponsors, her sugar daddies, you know, like they all were putting in money towards music hairs. And,
Right.
you know, for me, it was like I was making sure I was posting 5 to 6 times a day, every day, all day, getting any help I could from people because I realized in the end, you know, like I can't do that. I felt defeated at one point. I was like, oh my God, do I need to go back to like selling my
Camming,
feed
yeah.
pictures or something? Like I've never sold feed pictures, but like that's how I felt at that point. I was like, I'll never cam again, but like do I need to sell my toes because these people are making me feel like this? And no, I will never feel that way. I felt so insecure in that moment, and I've never felt that insecure in years of my life until that moment. And it's just sad because that also made me realize it's like people really feel like that's the only choice they have. It's the easy way out. It's not the easy way out. And it's going to die out very fast. Very fast.
Very fast. Because it's just going to be like another thing now. It's going to be like Facebook.
Literally. But your tits.
Your tits and your pussy.
Punana.
Your putty. So
Sorry if I like lost topic on that. I just
no, it's
kick
okay.
you going.
Inked Mag. Speaking of Inked Mag, you're inked. What are the meanings behind all of your tattoos? Like, what's your first tattoo? Take us down like a journey of your tattoos.
My first tattoo was in my lip, and it used to say, because I got it when I was 16 and not able to legally get a tattoo. It used to say kitty, because I'd run around like Boo from Monsters Inc. and say kitty. And yeah, so that started like that. And then I had my friend drew a tattoo, and I went and got it done at Cliff's.
Let it go? What does it say?
Just let go. And it's like a feather. So that's that. And I had gotten that tattooed. And then it started with the drunk tattoos on New Year's.
Oh, tell us about it.
I fear nothing but myself. And it was supposed to be like this big of a tattoo. And the words turned into like my whole side. And it was just words. And like these blocky words, okay? So like now you can't go back from
What
that.
did you say like the morning after?
I thought it was cool. And then I just started looking at it days after, and I'm like, okay, we need to fix this.
Yeah,
we got to
what the
fill
fuck?
this in. What the fuck is going on? So then I went and I had to go and get all these flowers. But thank God I just got the outlines. And then I got like more things done by like other like artists I didn't really look into. And always look into your artist because it's just so important. This is forever. Spend the money. It's, you know, it's worth it. It really is. And it's beautiful when you actually do try to go the right way instead of cheap. Because cheap is not the right way. I had to fix cheap, like, and it doubled what it could have been from the start. But I had like my unicorn done, and some mandalas and some roses like here.
Mm-hmm.
Stop there. That was like my last tattoo until I met Pat, my tattoo artist at Royalty Inc. in Medford. He's the best.
Shout out to Pat.
Yeah. He started tatting me, and I think we did my side first and fixed all this and did the shading, and he made it look more cohesive.
How long did that take? Like the shading and everything
of what was done before he touched any of me, like with a tattoo needle, was about 10 hours worth of shading.
And you sat for the full 10?
Yeah, we did that all in one. I feel like it was. Yeah, or like 8, maybe 8. But I was definitely there for like 10 hours that day. We probably took a 2-hour break. But like it was definitely all in one sitting. I did not go back for that. We didn't do the white. That's why. You know, when the white comes out, it's like, do we really need to? I thought I was done.
Right.
You know? But then we started my arm because I wanted to start a sleeve. And this means my guardian angels. This is my demons, drugs, and alcohol. It says survivor under her eye. My strength and courage is the wolf. And then my inner peace is the girl with the moon and the candles blowing the smoke above to her face. That's like the most meaningful. Something I'm going to take claims to before people start doing it on themselves is my Instagram like symbol, you know, double tap, like that shit. Yeah.
I'd be out in the street like this. Double tap this shit. Brii for you, baby.
But, you know, I won't go over the rest until, you know, that's pretty much done because we're not done working on that yet. Other than that, I'm fully tatted everywhere. It's just tattoos are a lifestyle, and my dad had them, so it was, like, big for me. Like, growing up, I always wanted tattoos because I always wanted to be like my dad.
Right,
Daddy's
and you
girl.
started at 18?
Yeah.
You jumped right in. So you... talking about the meanings of your tattoos and stuff, you talk about your sober journey, and on this show we're going to start a series for sobriety because my mom's in active recovery. My dad is trying his best to be in active recovery, so I'm going to start a series on here so that people can come and tell their stories, because sometimes I feel like people need to hear other people's stories to know like they're not alone, and there's so many different pictures or way people can look and act while being sober, and people don't realize that. And tell us your story.
So I was addicted to anything I could get my hands on, truly. But what really took me out was the prescription Xanax and the alcohol combined
Mm-hmm.
too. You know, like that's lethal. Literally could have died, but you know, I was doing it every day, all day, thinking I was like in this dreamland. And then I woke up one day after probably fighting with my ex, and I had left the oven on for a while, and I could have killed like me and my landlord, you know. It just wasn't a good situation. And then I woke up and like, you know, probably was crying to him. And I think it took him saying to me instead of like my mom or a family member, you know, like you need to fix the drugs and alcohol before you fix any relationships or anything else in your
Mm-hmm.
life. And I just felt like that was rock bottom. And I never went back from there. You know, I literally admitted to myself that I needed the help. And it was a moment I will never forget in my life. You know, going to my mom and actually admitting to her, because you were such a good addict and you were so good at playing your family, to
Mm-hmm.
think that there was nothing wrong with you, but you're admitting you have a problem. She's like, what? What do you, yeah, no, like I need help. I need to go to rehab. Like I need help. And like just to do that alone, you almost break down. But it's like if you need the help, just go get it. Like it's worth it. It's not worth it in the end because your life will transpire so much. Like I would not be this person I am today. Like I said, like my confidence in general, I wouldn't even know how to walk the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
Literally. But like I said earlier today, so many people don't realize that like if they change one thing about themselves, they can open the floodgates to all of the blessings that they're blocking.
And when you say blessings, it's so crazy because I feel like ever since, like, even in the last few years of just like all the good karma coming back into my life, like, I've just been blessed on blessed on blessed. And, you know, like having opportunities like this to be sitting here and sharing my story, like, that's a blessing in itself. So I thank you guys very much for letting
Mm-hmm.
me be here and for everybody who wants to listen for listening too. You know,
Yeah.
like things like this, I never thought would happen to me
Right.
and they are. And you know it's from taking the steps and those leaps that I'm trying to show people that as a Long Island girl who came from nothing, like just a middle class family, that you could do anything from completely one thought. It just takes one thought and one action, because you are the change you want to make in yourself, in the world. Like, we can't change anything.
Right.
We will only continue to let the world be the way it is if we don't make changes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't, people don't really understand that, I feel like.
Yeah, they definitely don't. Do you get a lot of hate from people that don't really understand your sobriety? Like, you still go out to clubs and stuff like
I
that?
feel like I get more hate on Long Island than I do in a club. Like going out to like a bar in Patchogue or something like
Mm-hmm.
Meatball, people kind of look at me like with disgust if I like say like, oh, I don't want to drink, or like I don't, oh, do you want water? Like,
Right.
can, like, it's like, don't nuisance me. Like
Right.
I'm an adult, and that's why I know I can't handle that.
I actually want a ginger ale.
You know, like I actually want a Coca-Cola. Like if
Right.
anybody's wondering, Coca-Cola or a Red Bull. That's all I need. But for when it comes to the clubs, when you can walk into a club, and especially like, you know, I'm always in a VIP or something, so it's people who have respect around me. When they offer me a drink, I just go, no, I don't drink.
Right.
Like, oh, what? Yeah, no, I don't drink. Like, and if it's like something disrespectful, then I say, no, I'm like sober, I don't drink. You
Right.
know what I mean? Not that I don't want to have a drink tonight. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't drink at all.
Right.
And I just feel like I'm a great example of having that self confidence and
Mm-hmm.
having that power to say no and to go out and to be able to show people. Like, the biggest thing I was scared of is, what are people gonna think of me if I get sober and I can't drink and I can't go
Right.
play beer pong, right? You get a Kool-Aid and you throw the ball still, and like you play beer pong. Like, you do what
Right.
you want to do. Like, you don't need to drink alcohol to have a drink. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't need to be an alcoholic beverage to be drinking something. That's not the definition. Like, you know, of a
It takes a lot of self control because like that's what people don't seem to get. Like you taking the step to put yourself into rehab. They always say like you can't make someone sober. Like
I am California
you
sober,
think
by the way. So people who do
she
want to
does
see that
she does smoke weed.
on my Instagram, I probably will smoke once in a while on my story. I am a pot smoker, but my dad did say, and I wish I did wish I listened to him when I was younger. If I was gonna do anything, just to smoke weed, and I didn't listen.
And
so
she should have.
I
Everybody, I mean, I feel like.
I mean, but like, wait. So like, it's like for other people though, other than like hardcore drugs, I feel like hardcore drugs. I just think it's a no. Like, I really, if you're gonna do them and you want to fuck up your own life, go fuck up your own life around me, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to alcohol and like you want to drink and have a good time, like if you know your limits, like good for you. But I don't.
Mm-hmm.
We're not the same. I'm built differently, and that's the sad story. Is a lot of us are built differently than others. Our intake levels are crazy. We don't know what we can handle. You just keep drinking, and then it's scary because at the clubs, I always hear these stories that people put shit in drinks and stuff. I'm so happy that I don't get handed drinks by anybody because I don't drink.
Right.
And when we're at the tables, we're making our own drinks. Like I could pour cranberry juice in a cup, and like if I put it down, it's gone. Like I don't even pick it back up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's how I am with my friends too. Like, don't put your cup down. So at the end of the day, I just think you're right when it comes to willpower and having that willpower. You could do anything when you have willpower, and like you could say no.
Yeah.
The just say no thing that we grew up with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dare.
Just say no.
Just say no. Because it comes down to the fact that you choose your destiny, and if you have the willpower to be able to control your mind and control what's going on with you, you have to do what's best for you at the end of the day.
I'll never drink again. I'll never drink again. I've come to the terms that I'll never drink alcoholic beverage again in my life until like the world ends, like and meteors are crashing in front of my face. Because then at that point, it's like, let's pop a bottle.
Yeah.
Let your body walk.
Right.
Because that's just for me. Like, I feel like my world would end if I ever did decide to go back to that life. Because I've worked so hard for this. And, 5 years almost without it. What the hell is another 30?
Right.
I meet people all the time. And, and she's right from experience. It's like when I did go into rehab and I met people and I saw people who've been in there seven times, I'm like, that's not going to be me. Right. It's just not. Like, I can't let that be me. I can't be someone's grandma in there. Like, it's not happening. Like, what?
And they're in there.
But thankfully, they're in a good place.
Right.
You know what I mean? But, like, at the same time, it's like you're learning from those people's experiences. And I feel like it would be good for you to make a podcast on that level because it's like some people are too scared to even step foot into a rehab. So maybe on a social media level, them watching and listening to people's stories could really help.
Yeah, because, like, so many people, especially younger people, they think, I can't be sober, I'm young. You know what I mean? They make it seem like it's such an old man's game.
It's not.
It's not. You can have an addiction from the time you're 13. Like, if I really thought about it, like, I vape now, but, like, when I was smoking cigarettes, like, I started smoking cigarettes off of literally smoking a random Newport, like,
oh my God,
walking
don't
in
even
the
get
woods.
me started with my Newport days.
Walking in the woods.
The gates of the high school.
Right. So, like, it's just like...
That Nick High, like...
Yeah. A little woozy. Like, almost stumble.
The taste.
Oh, I'll pass out right now.
Disgusting.
One hit of a Newport and I'll fall down.
I'll literally pass out.
Yeah.
We don't need to do that.
No.
At rehab, oh my God, you just gave me a reminder that at rehab they don't let you vape.
Oh, they're blowing them. They're blowing the cigarettes.
Yo, I had to go. I had a nicotine patch on. That still wasn't enough. I did the gum with the nicotine patch. Like, addiction is real. Yeah. Like, it really is. It's crazy. Because I damn straight hit the Newport when I was out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're bumming Lucy's out in the little smoking section.
Yeah, we were buying cigarette packs. I think you could, like, have people bring you cigarette packs. Yeah. Yep. I don't even really remember. Those are hazy days.
My mom was in Seafield before she, like, was in recovery, and we used to always have to, she's a smoker. Oh my God. We would have to bring her things. She would introduce me to her roommates, these crazy ladies. But like, she would become so close with these women. But if you knew my mom, like, she's such like a nice, like, open, comforting person. So like, she'll be like, Katie, she was selling crack.
Yeah.
But like, she makes it seem like she was working at the grocery store. She was like, this is Betsy. She was selling crack and now she's in recovery. Like, good for Betsy. I mean, like,
I mean, but like that's how it be out
that's
there.
how it
Like
is.
it's just a sad story of it. That's how it be.
That's how it is. I remember another time she went like upstate to one, and we went there, and I guess it wasn't like, it was a little bit more hood than we thought. And like she came out, and like she was like, the girls were scissoring in the bed next to her. And then I remember just like being in shock. And then she was like, "Hey, you ever heard of what a booty do is?" And I was like, "No, what's a booty do?" And she was like, "That's when your belly stick out further than your booty do." And she had a whole song that her roommate taught her, and she had a dance and everything. And she was like, "Girl, you got a booty do. That's when your belly stick out further than your booty."
I'm dead.
And I was like, "Mom, we need to get you out of here. What's the word?"
Well, yeah, rehab is pretty ghetto. No matter where you go,
Yeah.
it's gonna be ghetto. I mean, I definitely feel like I got some ghetto from there, but it's okay. This is how we live.
Experience.
And a big thing that I feel like in confidence too that you just reminded me was like going and stepping out into New York City by myself. Making that statement. And that was a big reason why I pushed myself with Ink Magazine too, because I was able to network and social network like in person and go out and like represent myself. And that's what I do. I don't really go to the club to party. I go to the club to work.
Right.
It's all work. And the end of the day, I'm building Brii. Like there's the Brii that keeps a roof over her head with the money she makes. And then there's a Brii who doesn't make a dime and is investing her dimes into a possible future of, like endless possibilities.
Yeah. So I see you've tiptoed into the music industry. Tell us how you got into that.
Growing up, I definitely was a singer, and I was definitely into acting. NYSSMA, Escamilla, all county singing. My dad supported me through it. After Ink Magazine last year, I got back into like another project, and it was around the time that my dad passed away, and one of my best friends came back into my life. It kind of took my friends pushing me and her sitting in my car like almost in awe at my voice and like how much she missed me singing. And just knowing how much my dad would support and see how cool it is. And I just want to make a name for my last name, like, because it's just something I've always wanted to do. And I got back into it when my dad passed. He passed in October of 2016, the 11th. So it was about October 13th. I made So Fake. And then I put it out on my birthday, November 20th. So I had just put music out recently, and I think I have almost 7 songs or 8 songs out now since, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is.
I love like alternative music. I'm a hood rat, but like I'm not gonna make hood rap music,
right?
Because I want to be on a global level. I want to be heard like in people's cars on Hot 97. Like, you know what I mean? Like I want to be respected. I have my family's respect now. Like, like I like the music that plays at the clubs, but like there could be more class, and there could still be shaking ass. But
your song "Leaving" gave me a very much like EDM vibe.
I am definitely in love with that song because it gives me Skrillex vibes.
Yes.
Back in the day, Skrillex vibes, and I do write most of my lyrics by myself. Lauren, my producer Chris's girlfriend, she does help. She has a great brain when it comes to lyrics. She's a lyrical genius, and we both together are just like a little team. She's helped me on a few songs now, but for the most part, I've definitely done a lot of songwriting on my own. And when people want to think it's like on a personal thing and like I'm singing about someone, I'm not. I'm kind of singing on a relatable level where I know like I've listened to songs like these in the past and people relate to this type of music when they're feeling things. So I don't want to make rap music or hip hop. I don't even want to get into that industry. I just feel like that industry it's not for Brii. Like I could be around it, but I don't want to be part of it. And I already have my own label now. Like I'm my own signed label. Everything's official. Like I'm on every platform. Look for me on SoundCloud more than like the other things because I'll always release music earlier on that, and maybe even like unreleased things will hit that. But like I'm on Apple, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Spotify, I'm on like all the things where like I've had my songs played in clubs now, like, and it's just actually surreal.
Yeah.
It's surreal to hear my own voice. I've cried listening to myself because it's just like, damn, I worked hard for this image I'm building, and also because I always cared what people thought.
Right.
And now that I don't care anymore,
You're blossoming.
it's like, wow, you could hate me, you could love me, whatever it is. I love myself, and that's all that matters. So at the end of the day, I think self-love comes into play with whatever you do in your life. Become music, career, anything, just the gym, anything.
Oopsie. So what does the next 5 years look like for you?
Take life day by day. I'm hoping it's somewhere where I become Bugatti Brie. That's like my dream, is to have a Bugatti. So, but I definitely hope to inspire at least one person each year to do something that they haven't thought they could do, and or to get sober if they need the help. Like I definitely see myself putting out more music, getting more into visuals. I really haven't like promoted myself or anything like that because I've been like my own manager in time, and I also just started making a perfume. Speaking of which, I brought you a bottle.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's very hot in here, so I might be a little musty.
And I'm sorry it's not labeled or anything
okay.
yet because I just got them in, and you're the first person to own one in their hands. So it's called 888. So my favorite number is 88, but I'm going to do
My favorite number
angel.
is 8 also.
So angel numbers are going to be my thing. And this one's like unisex. And it's going to probably be like the only unisex one, even though everything in the world's like unisex now.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever. But Designer Skin's the brand, and that's kind of based off like me designing my skin and designing like my tattoos and the confidence I wear, and like, you know, shedding off the weight and just everything I've done. So, you know, you design your skin, you design your scent. And I think a big thing that people feel like insecure about and pressured about is like what other people think, especially when it comes to social media and what you see on other people's pages. Like, there's so much beyond social media. And like, I don't want to be like everybody else. And I'm sure no one else wants to be like everybody else.
Right.
And having confidence in your personality is a big thing. So when you shine in your personality and your self-confidence and your self-love, like, you could go anywhere. So
I always say, like, one of the highest compliments I feel like people have ever said to me is that my personality never changes depending on the room that I'm in.
yeah, I'm always
And I'll
just
be the
real.
same exact person. I'll be the farmer in every room, even in the club.
I love it. And I'll always pop out the house like
Not
this.
that I'm a farmer, but
This is
I'm
my
just
casual.
saying.
This is my casual, and, you know, I love what I literally just walked into the gym like this. You know, like, I don't care. Like,
Here
I'll walk
for a quick
anywhere.
set.
I'll, like, literally walk in any room, and, you know, I just keep my head straight, and I don't need to look at other people, because when you look at other people, like, you're going to start thinking, oh, what are they thinking? Like, I don't give a fuck what you're thinking. Unless you are someone who I care what you're thinking, then you're going to know.
Right.
Because I'm going to look at you. But I don't make eye contact. And a lot of people will start to realize that after I say that now. I really don't look at people. And I try to keep my head down at the gym. Like, don't come near me. People
well,
ask
especially
me,
with your platform that is growing.
Yeah.
Locally, you probably get stuff. You're going to, if you don't already, you're going to start getting stopped a lot.
I do.
Because you're up to like 53K on Instagram, and TikTok you're at how many?
250,000.
Yeah, so.
And that was just from playing games with TikTok, you know, like,
right.
just like trying out trends.
Yeah.
And now I'm shadow banned for having tits and an ass, so.
It happens.
You know. Trying.
We get shadow banned every other week. We do. I have to dial back the cursing on here because I don't realize how much I do. So I started trying to like
Bloop it out.
put out vlogs in between doing episodes because me and my my weekly co-host, we are like kind of vulgar and like
I'm a truck driver's daughter.
Yeah, we'll talk about like the craziest stuff sometimes, and then when I go to clip stuff, I'm like, fuck, we're talking about like sucking dick and crazy ass shit, and I'm like,
bleep, bleep.
yeah. Now I'm like, damn, like I have to watch the things I say, so I got to put like the captions on certain things, but it's a work in progress. It's definitely like a work in progress.
One day I would love to just like make a podcast like how you have, like for girls with tattoos and just of all sizes and everything. And just,
What would
like,
you name
have
it?
More Than Models. And I would like have that platform where like one girl a month in the year gets like a podcast and like a whole page like about me. Not like a magazine, but like a almost like a tabloid kind of thing about them online because everything's online now.
Online
like,
blogs.
I feel like as cool as it is that I'm in a magazine, it's like, who really buys magazines anymore?
Right.
Let's be honest.
You could do like a magazine issue for every month or something and then do the rest online where they could read up about every girl and then you can have them on the show. We rent out space. You can come and rent here.
It's beautiful here, by the way. I love this little space.
Rent from us.
Cat's out the bag.
You could put up your own sign. The signs are removable. But I think that's a great idea. I think that would be really positive because like you were saying earlier with Inked Mag, like it's such a crazy thing to get into, but like if it was more open, more people would come forward.
It's like the stigmatism. It's the stereotypes of it. It's, you know, like you're more than a model. You don't need to be just a pretty face. I want to hear stories. I want to hear what makes you you. Like how you asked me, like what's my favorite tattoo? What makes my tattoos meaningful? Or like just people's stories intrigue other people. And I know I'm always intrigued by other people because if I didn't sit there and watch other people grow, I probably wouldn't have been inspired to grow myself.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's how it is. But thank you so much for coming.
Of course.
And staying because we had technical difficulties earlier and she stayed and she came back after my last podcast to reshoot it.
Yeah, and I hope we hit everything we did before because it was a really cool podcast. But,
I know.
You know, I think we did good.
I think so too. We're going to have you back on.
Yeah, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Look at the camera and tell people where to find you.
You can find me on Instagram at It's Brii Free. ITSBRIIFREE or at Simply Bridal SMIPLYBRIIDAL. And yeah, I'm on all platforms music wise, but you can always reach out to me too if you need sobriety help, anything. I'm always an open ear. I'm pretty bad at DMs. Like I just don't hate me. Like people don't hate me. It's hard when you have like a million people DM you what's your OnlyFans.
Right. Can I see your feet?
No.
No, you can't.
But it was a pleasure coming on here.
Yes,
and I
thank you so much
appreciate it.
for coming. Lauren, take us out of there. Or out of here.